Can we talk about how amazing Path of Exile 2 looks, both graphically and actually from a gameplay perspective? I've played Path of Exile 1 on and off for a long time. My best characters were a Ground Slam Marauder, a Toxic Rain Archer, and a Summoner Witch. And all three of those classes are seemingly still present in Path of Exile 2, along with some new ones. The returning classes are Marauder, Ranger, Witch, Shadow, Templar, and Duelist. So basically all of them except the Scion, who is added much later down the line, to be fair. There are also 6 new classes, and we know these are the Mercenary, the Huntress, the Monk, the Druid, the Warrior, and finally the Sorceress, who is not the Witch. My guess is the Witch is going to lean more into summoning, and the Sorceress will be more of an Elementalist. The reason I'm talking about Path of Exile 2 now though, is because we've actually got early access coming up in less than a month. On December the 6th for Steam, PlayStation and Xbox. Though the date has already been pushed back a few weeks, so who knows, perhaps it will be delayed again. And honestly, I'm fine with delays, even when you're releasing early access. It's always best to make sure that you are ready to release, and not to rush whatever you have out the door. But it looks like I'm going to be really busy during this December, since this is the second game I'm covering coming out early December. The other one is Dofus 3.0, which I'm still really looking forward to. Though I have to say I might not be getting into the early access for Path of Exile 2, as it doesn't seem to be releasing for free. Apparently all of this information was announced somewhere, almost certainly a live stream, but I've checked their website, I've checked some of the social media pages, and I can't find anything. I don't have a Twitter account though, and I think you need one to see all the posts from people. So it wouldn't surprise me if there's some news over there, but like I said, I can't see it. There are a lot of sources all very confidently saying that users in Path of Exile 1 that have around $500 or more lifetime spent will get access to the game for free. There is no way I've spent even close to that. And honestly, that's a testament to Path of Exile 1 and how free to play friendly it is. Or low spend friendly, I should say. I don't think I could play without my extra stash tabs, especially the special ones used for storing unique items, orbs, and other useful items. It's a real grey area in terms of pay to win. I would argue that it's not pay to win, but you can't deny that it helps dramatically in terms of trading with other players and building up your currency. Plus, the orb tab specifically removes the max stack limit that regular tabs have, drastically increasing how much you can hold, saving you a lot of space in your standard tabs. Other ways to gain early access include a purchasable supporter pack, which I cannot find a way to do. Perhaps we just need to wait for early access to fully release on Steam first. Apparently it will cost $30, but I can't find a solid source anywhere to confirm this. If this is the cost though, then I'm almost certainly treating myself using one of my first ever YouTube paychecks on it. So a huge thank you to all you for watching the ads, it really does support the channel, and an extra thank you to my first member. Moving on, over at Path of Exile's official YouTube channel is a great video showcasing the Mercenary, and it looks super cool. In the video they are wielding a crossbow that has different fire modes, one of which looks like a shotgun with a wide burst, the other is more like an assault rifle being fully automatic. But one of the coolest things in the video is the way that some of the skills interact with the environment. The ice skill actually aims at the floor and leaves frost residue on the ground. And I think this is a really unique and awesome effect to add to the ARPG scene. We also see them doing something similar later with the Marauder, where they leave lava traces on the ground, and their other abilities actually cause fire to spew out, dealing additional damage. A weird thing about some of the clips though, the character appears to be moving with WASD, not mouse. And I did some research into this, and apparently in PoE 2, mouse movement, WASD movement, and even controller support are all coming built into the game. And I've talked with a few friends about this, and they're all super keen and dead set on mouse movement being the correct way to play. But I think I'm going to use WASD movement personally, as I feel like it works really well in V Rising, and although it's not an ARPG, it is still a top-down sort of isometric game, and it's definitely in a similar style to things like Path of Exile. PoE 2 has been described by the devs as more approachable, with its smoothed out difficulty curve. However, there is a brief moment where we take a look at PoE 2's passive skill tree, that is at least as big as the first, possibly even bigger. And in my opinion, this is the first layer that stops new players from really getting into the game. The ability to mess up your character almost permanently is too great. The skill tree itself is not the problem, but the lack of resets is. In Path of Exile 1 you could refund 1 point at a time using reset orbs. And the way that orbs work in Path of Exile 1, well, they're kind of all currency. Everything in the game can be used as a currency to trade with other players, as there is no gold. Chaos Orbs were used as the original reference point, but as items got more expensive, they'd be measured in Exalted Orbs, and then eventually mirrors. Everything has a value, and everything can be used as a currency. But the orbs specifically actually have uses tied to mostly crafting. The crafting is a whole different level of complexity, one I never could get my head around, so instead I would farm currency and pay other players to do the crafting for me. Now let's talk about some of the bosses that they showed off in this gameplay. They look like a mixture, in my opinion, between Path of Exile and Dark Souls. A lot of the boss designs I could easily see fit in the Dark Souls universe. We've got lots of gothic creatures, eldritch beasts, and even some human prisoners. Some of the bosses just look like improved versions of the original Path of Exile 1 bosses, really solidifying it as part of the same universe. At least, I assume it is. PoE 2 is bragging about its 100 maps and 100 bosses, all while actually starting off as a smaller game than Path of Exile 1. And this isn't really surprising, as most, if not every season that GGG adds to Path of Exile actually sticks around in some sort of capacity. Over the years, Path of Exile has grown and grown, and while this is incredibly cool, it does add to the complexity that is PoE, and I don't think it makes the game any more inviting for new players, rather more unapproachable. I do find it harder and harder to get back into PoE, the same way I struggle to get back into Warframe. The game has just grown so much that I don't think it's new player friendly anymore. That being said, if you do manage to get into the game, it does give you a lot more variety and options when it comes to farming. During my Toxic Rain season, I farmed something called hideouts that were introduced in a previous season. Farming this made me the richest I have ever been, which allowed me to invest in a custom crafted bow that pushed me further into the maps than I have ever been, and I finally got to see bosses like Cyrus. With any luck, PoE 2 would develop the same way over the years. There's a lot more I could talk about, but every time I go back to look at the gameplay to find more talking points, I keep getting distracted by how gorgeous this game looks. It's got this really creepy, gory, gothic style, and it's just absolutely amazing. We didn't even cover how skills and gems work, since I kind of want to wait until I get my hands on it first. So with that, I'm going to end the video here. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below, and again, I just want to say a quick thank you for my first member. I don't intend to add this section to my videos going forward, but I will say that I do have memberships, and over the next 3 years I'm going to push myself harder at turning my channel into a full-time job. I would like to not ever have to rely on memberships, so I did decide to only have one tier at about £5, and I want to make it very clear. You don't get anything for this at all. It is literally just to support me. I really don't want anyone ever to feel inclined to do this, and since I have been asked also about donations, no, I don't accept donations, because that way I can't control how much you spend. With memberships, I can limit it to £5 a month, no more. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, thank you for listening, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye bye.